What is going on? Welcome back to another episode of the Money Codes. My name is Joel, here to give you your daily money code fix. And on this YouTube channel, what we discuss is credit repair, credit building, corporation, business funding, and everything in between. If that is something that you are interested in or will be interested in, go ahead and subscribe to this channel. I post 3 times a week, giving you the latest and greatest when it comes to credit and business funding. And today's video is something that I am very excited to do for you. I will be going over the Business Credit 101. And what does that entail? That means how to create an LLC if you've never done one before, if you have no idea where to start when it comes to an LLC, and not only how to create an LLC, but the things to pay attention to when it comes to your formation of your name, when it comes to the address that you put down. All of the things that we take for granted, lenders and underwriters pay attention to, and these small things can actually trip you up when it comes to getting financing and funding later on. So I go over how to get that. So I go over how to get your LLC created. I go over how to get your mailing address, because I do not advise that you use your personal home address for funding purposes. How to get your DUNS number, how to get your tax ID number, how to get your business email, because if you are using your Yahoo or your Gmail or your Hotmail in 2021, that's not good. And finally, we're going to end the video with how to get access to the tier 1 vendors, which is going to help you build your credit profile. And at that point, literally the sky is the limit. So do me a favor, this is going to be a lot of content, don't get overwhelmed. So down at the bottom of the YouTube video, or even in the description, I'm going to have the timestamps for every segment of everything that I'm discussing. So if you're a little bit ahead, feel free to skip ahead. If you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, start from the beginning and watch all the way through. Trust me, there's a lot of content here that is going to help you. Now I'm going to see you on the other side. Now let's get started. Okay, so let's begin. Business Credit 101. Let's jump right in. Now, what is the difference between getting business credit and building your business credit and personal credit? At this point, you should already know on the personal side of things, there are 3 major credit bureaus. There are more, but there's 3 big players: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Those are the players that when you are late on your bills, when you are in collections, when they report to your personal, meaning your social security number is used. TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian, they're the big players when dealing with that. Okay, so all of your dispute letters, everything deals with them. On the business side of things, the business side is a little bit different. The big players when it comes to the business side of things is Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business. And in this image right here, you can see how they do their reporting. You can see on the business side of things, they are keeping track of how many trade lines that you have. So pretty much, what is your track record when doing business with other vendors like Home Depot, like Lowe's, like Shell, and the other accounts that I'm going to show you in a few minutes. What is your business track record of doing business with other companies? When they send you invoices, do you flake out and do you not pay on time? Do you pay on time? Do you pay early? How much business credit do other companies give your business? And that's very similar to the personal side of things when it comes to max credit limits. If you're able to show you have 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 in limits with one particular company, other companies look at that and look at you in a positive light by saying in their head, okay, well, I can trust you because other people have trusted you with high limits. So I have no problem giving you 20,000, 30,000. That's how it works. So you can see here under the Equifax, you can see if there are any liens or if there are any judgments. Let's say you contracted a company to do some work on your business, or you leased out some equipment, but you never paid in full, or you never returned the material. Well, those companies can place a lien on your company, and that is going to be viewable for the rest of the world to see. So this is your report card, your personal side as well as your business side. How do you deal with other companies? Do you have a good reputation or don't you? Now, I remember when I first started this, I always thought in my head, what is the purpose? If I'm able to get Amex cards for 30,000, I'm able to get Chase cards for 30,000, why do I really need a business? Why do I need to get business credit? Very simply, tax advantages. If you are doing business as an LLC or as a corporation, there are certain tax advantages that are going to be available to you as opposed to you applying to things with just your social security number. Okay, so I'm not a tax consultant, but I will let you know that there are some perks that you can get under an LLC or under a corporation that you just can't get elsewhere. Number two, liability. People get sued every day in this country. Now, fortunately for us, once we create an LLC or a corporation is identified as its own independent entity. What does that mean? That means if you have property held under a specific LLC and someone slips and falls, the LLC will be held responsible. If you have a property and you own it under your own personal name, under your own personal social security number, someone slips, someone gets hurt, and they decide to sue, they are suing you. You will be personally sued and you will be personally liable. You don't want that. LLCs can be dissolved, LLCs can be created. Now, I'm not telling anyone to do fraud. I'm not telling anyone to try to skip out on bills, but there is an added level of protection against liability when it comes to litigation. You have an extra layer of protection when you choose to do things through your corporation. Lastly, fundability. What does that mean? If you decide to go to the bank as yourself, as you as the individual, financial institutions in general have more restrictive guidelines when it comes to personal loans. Meaning, if I go to a bank and I ask for $100,000 under my personal name, there's going to be a lot more questions. Why does one individual person need $100,000? Is it to pay my personal bills? Is it to pay my mortgage? Why does an individual need six figures? However, if I'm going as a representative of my corporation and I'm requesting six figures, it's a lot easier. Businesses have payroll. Businesses pay rent. Businesses lease equipment. Businesses sell products. It's a lot easier to request larger funds as a corporation because financial institutions understand businesses have more expenses. On average, you're able to get 5 to 10 times more funding as a corporation versus as a sole proprietor. Okay, so trust me, you want to keep things separate. You have your personal credit profile, and then you're going to be setting up your business profile. You want them separate. You don't want them to be intertwined and mixed together. They're both going to be built up separately. Now, with that out the way, let's jump into the real meat and potatoes. So when you are creating your LLC, let's say you're starting out for the very first time. You don't know up from down when it comes to building a corporation. You don't know anything. The first thing that you want to do and you want to pay attention to is you need to come up with your name. Your name is super important. Regardless of whatever you're doing, whether you are a hairdresser, a designer, I would advise you, especially just for funding purposes, create your corporation under a name that is kind of generic, meaning you don't want to create a corporation called Joel's Real Estate Business LLC. The main reason for that is there are some industries, whether it be real estate. I know real estate is very criticized when it comes to certain financial institutions because that industry is considered high risk. Real estate investing, for example, certain financial institutions don't like to give to real estate investors because it will be considered high risk. So I would advise create a name that's pretty generic, that no one's going to be able to guess what it is just by the name, and that will help you out in the long run. So right now I am at Opus Virtual Offices. This is a company that I personally use. I've been with them for about a year. I have a link down in the description if you want to join. That is an affiliate link. However, you can do your own research. I'm sure that there are other companies that are a bit cheaper that do the same things, but I'm just letting you know what I personally use because I don't like recommending things that I haven't really touched myself. So Opus Virtual Offices, they are a virtual office company, meaning when you are applying for credit, when you are creating your LLC, you want to keep everything separate. You want to keep your home address with your personal information, and you want to keep your LLC or your corporation with your corporate address. Now, again, it is possible for you to get funding using your home address. However, to just look professional as possible, try to keep everything separate. And these guys, the way they work, once you go ahead and sign up, I was putting in some dummy information here. So let's say that my company is called Thomas Crown Inc. And I'll just put some dummy information here. I'll hit continue. Now it's going to ask you, what state do you want your virtual office to be in? I recommend something that you're able to go and drive to within 30 minutes of your house. Again, this is going to be a professional office address. So let's pick California. Let's pick Buena Park. I don't know where any of this is. And with this service, they're going to provide you a business phone number, which is great. So let's just pick this randomly. Say continue. All right, so now they're going to describe what services come with this. So if someone calls your business phone, there's going to be a receptionist from 8:30 to 5:30 p.m. and then they'll forward over to you the voicemails, or if you get letters or if you get mail, they'll be able to either scan that for you, or they'll be able to hold it or mail it to you. There's different services here. That's fine. Let's just keep going down. I will keep all of this very basic. If you want to take time to read and upgrade to certain features, that's fine, but we're keeping this very basic. All right, so I have this twice here. Let's remove that. So they're going to try to say that it's $199, but if you move your cursor outside, or if you refresh, there are some coupons out there where you only spend $99 to start and then $99 per month after that. Again, there are other services out there that are a bit cheaper. Do your research if you want to. There's absolutely no problem with that. Again, this is what I use and I have no problem with them. You go ahead and you pay. Once you put in your payment information and your billing information, you are signing up. You place the order. At that point, you now have your business address and you have your business phone number. So now step one is out of the way. Perfect. Now let's actually create your LLC. Excuse me, pardon me for interrupting this video. Hope you're getting a lot of good content. Do me a favor, if you are actually getting some good content out of this, please make sure to go ahead and like and subscribe. It helps me a great deal with the YouTube algorithm. It lets YouTube know that I'm delivering high value. So if you are getting something good out of this, please go ahead, like and subscribe. Enjoy the rest of the video. So now I'm at inkauthority.com. Once again, there are dozens and dozens of companies that will allow you to incorporate online, and the only thing that you have to pay are your state's filing fee. Normally it's around $100, $80, $120, depending on how you customize it. If you already know how to create an LLC, go ahead and skip to the next section. However, I'm going to go through this very quickly. So I'm going to click here, start now for free. All right, so limited liability for a corporation, including S Corps. Again, I am not a tax consultant. Depending on what you're doing with your corporation, there are advantages to both. Again, go ahead and get a tax consultant if need be. For most people, starting out with an LLC is fine. And I'm going to select, this time, California. All right, so here I just put in some more dummy information. Joel Test, joel@thomascrown.com. So again, let's just say my corporation that I want it to be is just called Thomas Crown Industries or whatever. I put my mobile phone number in here. I agree to the terms. Do I want to add a partner? A lot of times people are just starting off with either themselves, or if you want to put your business partner here or your spouse, this is where you can do it. Enter business details. I already put here Thomas Crown Industries. That's something random I just came up with. I used to like the movie back in the day. Please describe your business in one sentence. Consulting for small businesses and sole props. Will your business accept credit card payments? We're just going to put yes. And then again, business category. For me, I like to keep it generic as possible. So I'm going to do professional service. Save and continue. All right, so now for the business details. What is the business address for Thomas Crown Industries LLC? It's asking for an address to associate with our corporation that we're going to create here. That's why I started off with the Opus Virtual Offices. So the one I created here that is different from my home address, this is what I'm going to use when creating my business. Again, some people start off with their home address and then later on they change the filing with their Secretary of State. But because you're watching this video, let's just go ahead and just do it clean from the start. So we're going to put in our virtual address and associate it with our business. And we are going to leave everything default. It's very simple. This whole process you can do in about 5 to 10 minutes. Now here is something very important. Employer identification number, your EIN. Your EIN number is essentially the social security number for your business. The same way you have one social security number for your personal name, you have an EIN number for your LLC. This is what you register with the federal government that gets associated with your business. Now, do not, and I repeat, do not pay anybody to get your EIN number. I've seen personally people charge up to $200, $250 to get an EIN number, and that's a scam. That's a finesse. Do not pay anyone. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to show you how to get it for free. So just pay attention and keep walking with me here. We're going to do this step by step. Do not spend money on getting your EIN number. So as you can see here, they're offering to get your EIN number for $49. We do not want that. We're going to say no, save and next. Operating agreement. Now, I do recommend that your company does have its operating agreement. So here on the next page, you're going to see them talk about legal documents package with ownership, certificates, and seal. When you are getting incorporated, make sure your documents are in order, meaning the articles of organization, your meeting minutes, your resolution. These are all of the documents to be kept up with in order to keep your corporation sound and in compliance. There's a thing called piercing the corporate veil. And this is a concept where people think that they're operating in their business, that they're doing business under their corporation, but none of their paperwork is consistent. They don't have any of the minutes or resolutions. They may or may not even be paying attention to and keeping up with the annual fees with the Secretary of State. There's a lot that actually goes into maintaining your corporation. And if something ever happens where you get sued, or your corporation gets sued and your documentation is not in order, and it can be proven that your documents aren't in order, the person suing your corporation will be able to pierce the veil and actually get to you, the person. So that layer of protection that I started off this video with, that can be technically destroyed if your paperwork is not in order. So I had to take a second to just mention that. Again, I am not a tax attorney. Please actually speak with one and let them know about your business, about your strategy. But just keep this in mind when you're creating and maintaining your corporation. So again, let's just go to no, so we can just continue with this process. So now we have express processing. We don't need anything express. Now this is usually the point where companies like Inc. Authority and other similar companies are going to try to upsell you in order to get you to pay extra. We don't need this, especially not for demonstration purposes. Website registration and business email. No, we're not going to do that here. I'm going to do that in a second. So we're going to say no. Save and next. Inc. Success Advisor. Do we want to pay to have an advisor that we can ask questions to? Again, at some point you do need to have somebody that you can use as an advisor, but for right now, no. Let's just get to the very end of the page. And here's something that I want to mention. So with Inc. Authority, For right now, they are actually partnered up with Bank of America. So when you actually do get your account created, there are some incentives to go ahead and join with Bank of America in order to create an account. You can see here, you get a $100 bonus when you create an account and you maintain a $1,000 balance for the first 60 days. You get an additional $50 if you have automatic bill pay attached to this account. And then you get a $300 statement credit when you get their Bank of America credit card and make at least $3,000 in net purchases within the first 90 days. I know Chase has something similar to this, and I would advise you just shop around and try to get the best deal, but you're going to need to have a business account because remember, everything will be separate. Remember, you have your personal checkings account and you have your personal credit cards. Now you need to have your own business checking account and your own business cards. There are other similar promotions like this, but again, for right now, I'm just going to say no. All right, congratulations. You are just seconds away from completing the formation of Thomas Crown Industries, LLC. And you can see they have it itemized, everything that I elected not to add on. And for the state of California, it is $70. When I did this before I recorded this, I did a test one for Georgia, and it was about $100. So again, 70, 100, 120, depending on your state. That is the state filing fee. At that point, once you place the order, you will get a confirmation either by email or if you actually signed up to get the physical package. That was a couple screens back. That's the one that had the corporate seal and the other documentation. You'll get that in the mail. And at that point, you will officially have had your corporation created. It's that simple. It could be done in 10 minutes if you know what you're doing. But again, take your time, go through the options, and make the necessary choices that are best for you. Let's keep going. Oh, actually, let me go back. Notice how every time I try to veer off from the page, they're trying to give me another 20% off. So always pay attention to that too. Always try to look for promo codes. There's always something going on to give you a better discount. So let's keep going. Now I'm on the IRS page. Now remember what I told you, there's no need to pay for your EIN number. You don't need to do that. So how did I get on this page? Very simple. All right, so how did I get there? I'm just going to Google get my EIN number. And you can see here, don't click on any of these ads. You don't need to click on any of these. This is the first one. It's irs.gov. Apply for your EIN. And remember, your EIN number is like your social security number for your business. It will always be attached to your business. When you go ahead and you start applying for credit and start applying for business checkings and savings account, they're always going to ask for your EIN number in order to get business accounts. So what does this look like? Very simple. Apply online now. This is a pop-up from the IRS that says make sure you are putting everything accurately. Everything is being monitored by the government. So we're going to play by the rules. Okay. We're going to begin the application. I'm not going to go through the entire thing. You should be able to see how to do this just by following the steps. So do we have a corporation? Is it a sole proprietorship? Is it an LLC? It's an LLC for the Thomas Crown company that I created. I'm going to hit continue. How many members are in this LLC? Is it 1? Is it 3? Is it 5? Do I have partners? Well, for right now, 1. What state was I in? I was in California. Hit continue. So you can see because I put 1, they're going to identify my corporation as a single member LLC. Okay, that's fine. Why is the LLC requesting an EIN? We can just put banking purposes. It really doesn't matter. Or you can say start a new business. It really doesn't matter. And this is where you want to put in your information. You see what they're asking for is your first name, your last name, and your social. And then choose one. I am one of the owners or I am a third party. More than likely, you're going to be selecting this. You're going to be putting your information, and then you're going to be putting in your social security number so the government can keep track of who is associated in making the request on behalf of this business. Where is the LLC physically located? And again, this is the reason why we went ahead and we created the Opus virtual offices, or whatever the virtual office company that you want to be affiliated with or you want to sign up for. We want to keep everything consistent. You don't want to make your office address your home address on one application, and then your second application you put your virtual address, and then on your third you use your home address. You want everything to be as consistent as possible. So as you can see here, I'm just putting in the same information that I got from my virtual office, and I'm keeping it consistent. Do you have an address different from the above where you want your mail to be sent? No, let's just keep it consistent. Now the IRS website is confirming the address. That's fine. The Thomas Crown Industries. This is what we created before with Inc. Authority. So we're keeping everything consistent and we're going in order. And when do we create this LLC? March of 2021. Where is the LLC located? You will put the city. What state will the articles of organization be filed? For most people, it's going to be the same state. And since we created our LLC in the month of March, I'm going to put the month of March 2021 here. Again, answer these questions honestly. Does your business own a highway motor vehicle? No. So for most of these, I'm just selecting no because they don't apply. We don't sell alcohol or tobacco. And then lastly, you want to select the industry that you're in. So in this example, I'll just click warehousing. All right, so I'm going to end it on this page here. You have two options. You can either elect to get your EIN letter emailed to you, or you can have it snail mail delivered to you, which is going to take about 3 or 4 weeks. That is up to you. So again, I just did this part within 5 minutes. Once you have your corporate address, once you have your LLC created, take all that information. You can go to the irs.gov website directly, go and answer all of their questions, and then select email. And within a matter of minutes, you will now have your EIN number or your tax ID number for your corporation. It is that simple, guys. Do not pay anyone to get this for you. So what have we accomplished already? We went ahead and we created our virtual office, and we have a virtual phone. We created our corporation. We then took our corporation information and our virtual information, and then we went to the irs.gov website, and then we requested our EIN, or also known as our tax ID. We got that emailed over to us. And depending on if you already took up the offer for that Bank of America deal, or you went over to Chase and took their deal, now you even have your business bank account. And we did this very quickly. Now normally other people kind of skip over this part and tell you to go straight to the tier 1 vendors, but I want to do one thing before we do that. Just one point. So you can see here, I'm on the website. It's workspace.google.com. This used to be known as G Suite. This is how I remembered this website. It was under G Suite. Now, what is the point of G Suite? Why do you need to know this as somebody that's creating their business and you want to make sure that your image and your credit profile looks as professional as possible? Here's the thing. When you go to a bank, or when you go to some of these tier 1 vendors, or when you go to Dun & Bradstreet, which I'm going to talk about in a second, they're going to ask you to put in your personal information as well as your email address, as well as your website address. That's important, especially for DUNS. Which one of these emails would be more professional? joel@thomascrownindustries.com or sexualchocolate85@yahoo.com. This is a super pet peeve of mine. If we are taking ourselves seriously and we want to be respected as entrepreneurs, let's leave all of the Yahoos, the Gmails, the Hotmails, let's leave all of that alone because that's personal. Let's go ahead and create ourselves a professional email, and G Suite, aka Google Workspace, will allow you to do that. Now, I'm not going to take a whole bunch of time to go through the process with this. It's very simple, but go ahead and bookmark this website. It's going to cost you about $5 per professional email that you have. So in this example, in this class, my corporation was Thomas Crown Industries or Thomas Crown Inc., whichever one. What I can do is I can go into workspace.google.com. I can hit get started, and it's going to ask me for my personal information, and it's going to ask me to create my professional email. Now, if I want to just create my own, which will be joel@thomascrownindustries.com, I could do that. If I had a partner, if I had two partners, every additional professional email that I'm going to request from Google will cost an additional $5. For most of us, we probably only need one, or if you're selling something online, you may need to create a support at whatever your domain name is. Either way, go ahead and invest the $5. Trust me, you're going to look a lot more professional in the eyes of the underwriter, in the eyes of Dun & Bradstreet, in the eyes of just another consumer that is wanting to spend money with you. Don't give them a sexual chocolate 85 Yahoo email address. Don't do that. Spend the $5. It's worth it. Now, here's another thing, and I'm going to go very quickly. The website called Fiverr.com. I've been with them for well over a decade before they got popular and did Super Bowl commercials. If you are someone that is not tech savvy, you don't know anything about creating an email, you don't know anything about creating a website, just do this, because this is not an excuse for us anymore for the non-tech savvy people out there listening. If you want something done that's like a techie type of job, go to Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. Go to this, and for example, let's just type in G Suite. This is a website where you can literally go and you can see dozens and dozens and dozens of freelancers that are listing their services, and you can pay as little as $5. Normally it's about like 10, 15, but as little as $5, and they'll do the work for you. Let me just pick somebody here, just randomly. This guy here, Danish Jimshed. I probably mispronounced his name. For $5, he'll get your G Suite fixed and set up within 2 days. For $10, he'll get your G Suite fixed and set up within 1 day. For $20, he'll do it within an hour. $5, guys. $5. Pay this guy $5. Tell him, hey, this is my... Matter of fact, I'll do it this way. I'll do the get a quote. This is what you can do anytime you want to. Hi, Dinesh. I just created my LLC. I'm looking to get a professional email created. How much would you quote me for this? Now, of course, he's already had in his bio, he does it for $5. But let's say you were asking somebody to build a one-page website. Let's say you're asking somebody to create you a business logo. Whatever you need to make your image more professional. Type in the service here, pull up about 3 or 4 different people, send them a message just like this, stating exactly what you need. I need an email, I need a website, I need a logo. How much would you charge? Within 24 hours, because a lot of these guys are overseas, within 24 hours, they're going to send you a quote, and they're going to say, hey, I can do this for you for $30, and I can get it back to you within 72 hours. Is that cool? Go ahead and compare, pay, done. That's it. I don't even need to get even more technical with websites and emails. Just go to Fiverr, pay somebody $20, and get a basic one-page email. So for me, I would have thomascrownindustries.com, and then I will have joel@thomascrownindustries.com. I will have that. I will have that basic website created, and then I will have that basic email created, and then I can go anywhere I want, get my business cards, which can also be designed for you here at Fiverr. Just go ahead and do this. That will take care of all of your technical questions. Let's not make this harder than it is. Now let's jump into Dun & Bradstreet. So Dun & Bradstreet, at least at one point in time, the premier leading credit reporting agency for the business world. If you wanted to get your business credibility up, if you wanted to get your business reputation up, you would need to register with Dun & Bradstreet, and then you would need to build up your Paydex score. So for your personal, it's your FICO. So let's say I have a 720 FICO score. FICO is going to handle our personal. That's what lenders use. A lot of lenders on the business side, they're going to pay attention to your Dun & Bradstreet. They're also going to pay attention to your Experian business, and then they're going to pay attention to your Equifax business. So it really depends. Every financial institution, they may pay attention to different things, just like with personal. Some credit card companies you may apply to may only pull your TransUnion. Some may only pull your Experian. Everyone is different. However, these are the big players. So why am I talking about Dun & Bradstreet? Well, for Dun & Bradstreet, you will need to register with them, and you will need to access your DUNS number. Your DUNS number is specific to Dun & Bradstreet. It's different than your EIN / your tax ID. That's for the government. Your DUNS number is for DUNS. So how do we get our DUNS number? Because we're going to be using this DUNS number on our applications for these tier 1 vendors. First thing you do, let's just click here. It says DUNS number. Get a DUNS number. Click that. Perfect. Primary reason for a DUNS number. Well, I have a US based business. Now, as you can see here why I told you to go from step 1, step 2, step 3, and now we're here. Well, my business name is Thomas Crown Industries. What is your street address? My street address was the one that I created, I think over here, still up. Yep, here we go. This is my virtual office that I'm using for all of my business purposes. So here we go. Boom. Fullerton. 92. California. So now as you can see here, I put in my information, 112 East Amerig Avenue, Fullerton. Actually, I can probably delete this. All right, this is our business address. This is not our personal address. And I'm saying this over and over again, and I know it sounds like I'm beating a dead horse, but trust me, I see people mess up at this part over and over again. They register for their business and then they put in their personal information. And then when it's time to do applications, their credit profile is screwed up and mixed up. And then they have to go to manual underwriting, and then it becomes a big headache. Do it right the first time. Trust me, you're going to save yourself headaches. So we're going to put in all of our business information here. Now, guess what? They're asking for our business phone number. I'm not going to put my cell phone number in here. I'm going to put in the business phone number that I got from Opus Virtual Offices or whichever company that you chose. Hopefully they gave you a business phone number along with that subscription. All right, so let's go back. So let me just copy this phone number here. I'm just going to paste it in here, and then I'm going to search. Now, what it's going to try to do, now what it just did right now is based off of the information that I put in, meaning the name of the company, the address, DUNS has a repository that it's going to be able to reach out and get information. So let's say I've been doing business under Thomas Crown Industries for the last 5 years, and then I just realized, oh, I need a DUNS number. It is possible to do business without a DUNS number. Well, if this was one of my companies here, I can say, oh, this is me, or hey, this is me, and then I can get my DUNS number requested by clicking in here. But most people are going to have to scroll down because remember, you're using a brand new company. You're going to click get a new DUNS number. And of course, they've got to upsell you. And again, I'm not going to vilify them for doing it. However, do not feel pressured to try and buy anything to get a DUNS number. A DUNS number is free. Your tax ID number is free. Don't pay nothing. The only thing that you need to pay for is your business address and the state filing fees and or The additional documentation for your corporation, the upsells, meaning your stamps, your articles of organization, all those things before, that's fine. But do not spend money on this unless you read through this, unless you understand the needs and the features. Don't do that. Click here, free. We like free. Let's get started. All right, so here we are on the registration page. Again, I'm not going to do all of the registration here just for time's sake, but we're going to keep it consistent as we've done everything else up to this point. We're going to put in our first name, we're going to put in our last name, and then we're going to put in our email. Now, at this point in time, guess which email you need to be putting in here. Do you think it's the Sexual Chocolate 42, or do you think it's the Joel at thomascrownindustries.com? What do you think I'm going to put in here if I was doing this for real? I'm going to be putting in the email that I registered through G Suite or Workspace. This is why I'm paying my $5. That way I'm able to put that into my DUNS number, and now DUNS has my professional email on file. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and register. Once you're registered, they're going to ask you for your basic information again. They're going to ask you for the address of your business. They're going to ask you for your business phone number. They're going to ask you for if you have a website. If you don't have a website, I already told you, go to Fiverr, spend 10, 20, 30 bucks, however it costs. Somebody will do a very basic one-pager for you. Okay, so all of that basic information, after you register, you're going to put that in there, and then you're going to request your DUNS number. It normally takes about 3 to 4 weeks for you to receive your DUNS number. You'll get an email and they're going to say, welcome. Your DUNS number is whatever the number is. They're going to give you a login into your portal, and then you will have your DUNS number. Your DUNS number. All right. So again, let's recap quickly. At this point, we have our business. We have our virtual number. We have our LLC created. We have our professional email. We have our professional one-page website, which shouldn't cost no more than 50 bucks for a one-page website. Now we have our DUNS number. At this point in time, now we have everything set up, especially if you have your business account created, either through Bank of America or Chase, or maybe through your local credit union. Maybe you're with Navy Federal. Go ahead and get your business checking account created. The bank is going to ask for some paperwork like the articles of organization. They're going to ask for your Secretary of State filings. So everything that you're going to get from Inc. Authority or wherever website you use to register your corporation, you're going to have a nice little notebook where you keep all of your documents. And then when you go to Chase, when you go to Bank of America, you're going to provide that information. And now you have your business checking account created. At this point in time, now you're going to start applying for your tier 1s, your tier 1 vendor accounts. Now, which tier 1 vendor accounts would I recommend for people to go ahead and try to get? Here are the ones that I've used in the past. All right, so the very first tier 1 account that you need to register with is one that I actually think is pretty valuable. It's nav.com. Think of nav.com like Credit Karma, but for the business realm. So you're going to go ahead and get signed up. You have to pay for this. I think I get charged like $45 a month. I think if you pay either yearly or quarterly, they'll give you a discount, but I pay monthly. With Nav, you'll be able to provide your DUNS number. You'll be able to provide your social security. And then again, it's like Credit Karma. They'll be able to monitor your Vantage scores, which you already know isn't your FICO scores, but hey, it's information. You'll be able to monitor your DUNS Paydex score. Your Paydex score is between 1 and 100, I believe. So the higher your Paydex score is, the better that you look in the eyes of lenders in these financial institutions. And how do we get a high Paydex score? Well, we sign up for companies like Nav and like these other companies that I'm going to show you. We register, we provide all of our information, we provide all of our business information, our tax ID, our mailing address, our business mailing address, our business phone number, and then we purchase a product from them every month. until it starts to report on Dun & Bradstreet, Experian Business, and Equifax Business. And you will be able to see all of it inside of NAV. So again, NAV is just Credit Karma for the business side. So I think it's called the Business Boost. Go ahead and pay that. You got one trade line. The next one that I had before is Crown Office Supplies. Okay, Crown Office Supplies. What do they sell here? Well, normally I always get either basic t-shirts. Sometimes I'll get, before they had like office snack packs. So there will be a box of like random snacks of like Cheetos or whatever for $40, $50. I'll go ahead and get that. Go ahead and just purchase that for a few months. Let that report at minimum $50. You want a minimum of $50 before tax. You want to purchase that. And then when you register, let me actually show you that. You see here, apply for Business Net 30. So I get to order something today, but I don't pay now. I don't pay with my credit card now. They're going to send me an invoice, and then I have 30 days to pay that invoice. That is why it's called a Net 30. There are other companies that do Net 60 or Net 90s, or I know Amazon Business does Net 55. Okay, so the main thing with this, how we can use this for our advantage, is we go ahead and we register. All right, so I went and opened up a new private page just so you can see everything as a new user. But again, what do you need to do to create a Net 30? Put in your email, preferably your business one. They're going to ask you for a username and password. Go ahead and create that. Your legal business name. So right here, I will put in Thomas Crown Industries. The business name, I will put in the address that I did before, which was out in California somewhere. I would put in my website. If you don't know how to get a website, I already told you, go to Fiverr, spend $30, $50. Let somebody do that for you. Organization type, I'm just going to put other business type. And again, look here, look very carefully. What are they asking you? What are they asking you? EIN. So now can you see why I told you to go in that certain order? They're asking you for your EIN number, and they're asking you for your DUNS number. Now for Crown, for example, it's not required to have your DUNS number. Other Net 30s or other companies, they will require a DUNS number in order to register. This is why I told you to get all of your groundwork created first, and then you start applying. So now we got our EIN number. It should have been emailed to you from the irs.gov. And then the DUNS number, this should have been emailed to you within about 3 to 4 weeks from the time you registered at Dun & Bradstreet. You put in your phone number, you hit submit application. That's it. You just registered. They'll likely email you within about maybe a couple of days to confirm the information. I forgot how the first day was, but I remember being on the phone with them, asking them some basic information. And then at that point, all I did was I go and I shop. Buy something that you would want. Here's a t-shirt with a motivational quote on it. Get $50 worth of items. Check out. They're going to invoice you, and you want to pay your invoice a week and a half before that date. You don't want to pay the invoice off immediately, and you don't want to pay on the last day of that invoice date. You want to pay about at least a week and a half before that due date. All of this plays into you strengthening your DUNS number. So you want to pay a week and a half before that invoice date. This is Crown, and that is it. That's all you need to know about registering with a Net 30 account, putting in your business information, buying something for at least $50 and more, and then paying off your invoice. So now you have NAV and now you have Crown. The next one I will tell you to go and check out is Uline. In March of 2021, there are some talks about people not being able to see Uline reporting anymore to the credit reporting agencies. I just checked my NAV not too long ago, and I do see Uline still reporting as of March 2021. So again, that's the thing with these Net 30s accounts, and really that's the thing with everything that I'm talking about here on this channel or on my website, or if you have any of my courses. Things change often. One company may be able to report to specific reporting agencies this month. And then the next month, it may change. We've already seen that on the personal side with my jeweler's account and AG Jewelers no longer reporting. The moral of the story is always stay on top of the day-to-day changes in the business credit industry, because there are a lot of changes. So from my understanding, Uline does work for me. It's reporting because I made a purchase last month. It is reporting for me. But again, I'm hearing people saying it's not reporting from them. You may just want to call them. However, Uline has worked very easy for me. The next one to check out, Quill. Quill is kind of like Staples.com. You can get printers here, you can get coffee, you can get snacks, you can get tape, you can get ink, you can get boxes. You can see a lot of different stuff here. So now the thing with Quill, and the reason why I haven't used Quill before, when you register, you're going to do the bill me later option. Now, everybody who I told to go to Quill was able to get the net 30 account. Later on, I called Quill and they said that some people are going to have to pay upfront for several months, and then Quill will at some point review your account and then establish it as a net 30. In my opinion, I don't think that's cool, so I stopped really recommending them. Again, you may try, give them a call, register, put in your business information. If they don't allow you to register as a net 30 account with them, go somewhere else. But this one may or may not work. Just go ahead and try, see if that works for you. Shirtsy is a net 30 account where you can go ahead and, as you can see here with all these pretty models, you can go ahead and get your logo, put on some shirts or some polo shirts, t-shirts. You'll upload your logo and then they'll mail you out some sort of merch. I think the pricing is pretty good. They report pretty quickly. This is an option. And also what I would do, check down in the description. I will go ahead and I will paste other net 30 accounts that I'm aware of that reports pretty quickly, and I'll do my best to try to update that as much as possible. Again, some report to DUNS only, some report to Experian Business only. So you really want to go after the ones that at least report to DUNS as well as Experian Business. If you can get somebody to report to Equifax as well, that's awesome. But at least focus on those two for right now. So again, get 4 to 5 reporting to your business trade lines, and then you will officially be in the game. So as I was editing this video, I remembered one more that I used last year. This is called the CEO Creative. They offer things like stationery type items. I remember last year I purchased, let's see if I can check out what I ordered last year. I think I got some iPhone chargers. So you can see here, everything's over $15, $60. Okay, so yeah, on this one, it was the SanDisk. So this is what I use for my camera. It's just the memory card. I bought a couple of those for the amount of $56.99. And you can see the order as paid. Remember, as I said before, go ahead and pay at least a week or two before that due date. You want to have the reputation of being someone that pays early. And to apply for the net 30, it's very similar as with Crown Office Supplies. I do remember having to pay, I think it was either a $99 or a $129 activation fee. Again, sometimes you have to do that in order to establish some credit. Once you pay, they'll activate your account. That activation fee gets reported. So the fact that you're even paying to become a member with this company, that activity does get reported to the credit bureaus. You can get any sort of basic electronic item here. Again, it's going to be a little bit more than what you would expect getting it from Amazon or Best Buy. But we're doing all of this just to get the trade lines being reported, and that's all we're doing. So we're paying a premium for that service. So that's all it was. Back to the video. Congratulations. You did it. You went through this very long video, but you were able to do all of the prerequisite steps that's going to get your LLC created. You learned about what these underwriters are going to be paying attention to. And hopefully at this point, You know which vendors you're going to sign up with to start establishing your business credit. So again, kudos to you and congratulations. This is the end of this video. I hope you got some good information out of it. You already know what to do at this point. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. And I'm likely going to do a sequel to this video going over the tier 2 and the tier 3 vendors. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel. I'm going to be making sure your personal and business credit is on point so you can get the financing to fund your dreams. Thank you again for watching, and I'm going to catch you in the next episode. Peace.